Welcome to the Student of the Game podcast, where I sit down with successful entrepreneurs to extract the knowledge you need to increase your income and avoid simple mistakes. You learn from their failures so you don't have to go through the same thing. I hope that you find one thing that can change your life in this episode. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for tuning in today. We've got a special guest for you, Jithu Sajeevan. Jithu, thank you for being here. I wanted to give a little intro. We connected at a Grant Cardone conference. And one thing that's like really important that I try to share with people is how important networking and conferences is. And you're going to hear the story and hear the things he's got going on. But Jithu, thank you for being here. Tell us who you are, what you do, and how you got started.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thank you so much for doing this, and I'm so glad that we connected at Grant and we kept in touch. It's been almost a year now, and we're still going strong. Yeah, so like you said, I'm Jithu. I'm 20 years old. My story started in India. I lived there for 14 years out of my 20 years. Was raised by a single mother, which is very tough situation in India because it's a place where you don't see that a lot. So went through a lot, struggling to put food on the plate, was scared for most of the time because, there's a lot of crime, and especially when it's a household held by a single woman, there's a lot more than usual. So it was tough growing up, but I think it also made me very strong, maybe more mature because I was like the male figure. So story started there. I went to school there, and so I came here 6 years ago. I moved here because my dad is here. My mom and dad are together, but like my dad wasn't in the picture most time because my dad was working here and trying to feed us. Well, me and my sister and my mom were back home with our grandparents. So I came here with an immigrant mindset, coming here and just blown away by everything, like everything that we have, even the small things as like it's like laptop. I don't think I've seen that many laptops in India. Maybe like one, maybe 2, 3 laptops my whole life. So it's like everything has just amazed me. School system incredible. Like everything was organized. Like I remember going to some of my friends were going to school. They had no buildings. It was just sitting on the land and kind of learn. Like use the soil as the notebook. That's how I learned. So yeah, so coming like that here, obviously definitely I feel like I was privileged, and I feel I was blessed. So I definitely took advantage of it. I was like, if I'm here, I gotta go all in. So since high school, I didn't speak English well at all. So it was hard. First 2 years were definitely hard because didn't have any friends, wasn't able to communicate well. So that put a huge back for me when it comes to making friends or socializing. I was already a shy kid, and it made it worse not able to speak. And a lot of bullying. I went to a school was predominantly white, and I was like one of the minorities. So a lot of those. And yeah, so second year I'm here, I was sophomore in high school. I joined this program called Bristol Police Explorers, which was like a program that was delegated for young adults or young youth that wants to be a cop one day or any of those fields. I had no interest, but my mom kind of forced me to do it because she wants me to like talk to people, make friends. So I did that program, and it just completely changed me. Like absolutely, like I'll give all my credit to that one program because I was a very shy kid. It turned me into a person that I could talk to people, and communicate. Like really pushed me to the limit. Like I remember this one police officer told me, like, listen, in 6 months, I'll turn you into a person that could talk to people. And he did. In 6 months that happened. So that was a huge boost because that's what I needed, because I had the motivation to do bigger things, but I just didn't have the language barrier. So once I got that, I was going all in. I was a president of like 5 clubs in my senior year, just running all. I was doing so much for the community, like including raising money for homeless people or like whatever they need. I was always in. I was also a big chess player. I was playing
Mm-hmm.
won the state championship a couple of times, went to nationals a few times. So it was great, amazing time. Was able to get a full scholarship to my college. I don't pay a dime because of the things I did. Um, but like when COVID happened, it was the time where I think my life really took a huge leap. So I was playing chess competitively and all that, and but when COVID happened, I couldn't play anymore. So I was like, all right, what do I do? And I was always inspired by people who coaches other kids on how to play chess because I never had a coach. We could never afford one, but I always think like, oh, you have a coach, you must be like very talented player because you're getting private one-on-one coaching. So I started coaching a little bit chess, um, and it was just on the side, like I was trying to do something I was trying to do during COVID. But it really clicked. I found out I have a passion for teaching, and it's something that I could do really well. Um, and I did that and did that for a few months. I like in 2 months I have like 20 kids now that I'm teaching regularly, and it's going great. I was charging them like something like $5, like or something like very cheap. It was
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. People make fun of me because I had a really good ranking in chess, and I should be charging like 100 or $200 per hour. But it's just my hobby, and I never thought I would make money of something that I really enjoyed. So, but then I noticed this company called Dig USA, which was this very small startup that offer a bunch of teaching classes, like teaching after school program for kids, and chess was one of them. And I talked to the owner, and like we really connected somehow, and we were like, all right, let's do something together. So I kind of left the chess thing I was doing that I kind of put a pause to all of them. I went with this company, and and we had such a great partnership that like we blew away the company, and it was during COVID too when people were home. I think that before I joined, the company had like maybe like one chess program, but in 3 years after now, we have like probably 40 chess programs. We have 2,000 kids that play chess with us. We have a chess team
Mm.
that practice weekly. We have 80 kids in the chess team that we practice weekly, and we go to tournaments and we do a lot of challenges. We travel. We went to Maryland. We went to Chicago. So we're gonna keep traveling for chess tournaments, and we're also going to France this summer. We bring out chess kids to France. So, so this chess company was able to give me a huge opportunity of like able to build something. Like this is where I learned all my business skills, you know. And the funny thing is, I wasn't even when I joined the company, I had like 1 hour lesson, and that's all I did. I was okay. I was happy with it, but something in me told me like, all right, this I could do more with the company. So I voluntarily off like I didn't even tell the boss about this. I was just emailing people everywhere, left and right. I was contacting schools for free. Nobody ever told me, but I just felt the need to do it, and I did it. And the company just blew it up. And now I have like a very strong position in the company, and we have 20, 30 people. Um, and with that money I earned, I was able to buy my first property at age of 20,
Hmm.
my first duplex. And yeah, and like we're also a mentors to these kids. So like I have around 200 kids that I mentor on daily basis, and I help these kids get scholarships, like letter. I help them build many of the social skills that I know I didn't have, like teaching them how to run a business at age of 8. But these parents love me, like they love me because they treat me like their family members. So huge impact. And we do a lot of stuff in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is a very poor town. um, and we try to help a lot of kids there because a lot of kids there, they uh, they don't have a father figure like I didn't. And I try to be one of those, and we've been helping so many kids that are like around 1,000 kids that we teach for free. So yeah, chess. When like we were using chess, I'm using chess as a tool to
Hmm.
help as many kids as I can, and it's I love it. It's a game that I love, and you could teach anything through the game of chess because chess. I think chess like a business. You have a bunch of pieces, you have a bunch of employees, and you got to put them in the right place to make it go right. So that's you can learn everything from there.
Yeah. Would you say the game of chess also just reflects life in general?
100%, 100%, Tim. It's just everything. I could like, for example, the pawn. I teach pawn. you got to treat pawn as like a little baby. You know, when a child is born, can't do much, can't like go anywhere, can like do little bit stuff. You know, eat, cry, and that's about it. And everybody like say, "Oh, pawn is the weakest piece in chess, can't do much with it." But when the pawn get to the other side of the board, it can turn into a queen, which is the major piece in chess, like the most powerful piece in the game. So that's why I think about. I try to teach our kids like, hey, like you might be a child now, but if you do things right with the support of other people in your life, you could grow into something very big or massive. You know. So that's yeah, 100%, Tim. I think chess is very relatable to life. Everything that you do.
That is a great analogy, and
Yep.
it sounds like you're making a really big impact and also building a business out of it as well. I kind of wanted to go back. I apologize. We'll cut this part out. I think it was an Amazon package being delivered. Anyway,
It's funny.
Is she done? Okay. My new editor Ben is going to help us cut this part out. So I'll
Let's
tell
do
you.
it.
11, and I'm going to write down what time. Okay. So it sounds like you're making a really big impact teaching a lot of these kids chess and really building a business out of it. And I kind of wanted to go back a little more to your story. And I'm really thankful that I know you pretty well, because I think we can take this conversation and make it into a really good podcast. But just back to the start, when you first came to America from India, don't speak English, and getting to the point where you're confident in speaking English and you just take off. Like you're running all these clubs, you're starting all these things, like you're getting great grades, getting scholarships, full ride scholarships to university. So like, what was it in you that got you to that point where the only thing holding you back was the language barrier? And then once you got through there, it was just boom, like where do you think that came from? And to kind of give you a little bit of a softball, I've seen you share like the advantage of being an immigrant and what that does to your mindset. So would you touch on that point?
Yeah, of course. I think my boss liked to use this word a lot. It's desperate, right? I think people think being in a desperate position is a bad thing, but I really don't think so. And like you and I follow Grant. Like I think Grant always says like you should never have money in your bank account, because if you do, you feel comfortable, right? But if you don't, you feel desperate. I think that was the situation I was in. Even when I came here, we're still like we're on food stamps, and I couldn't sign up for anything, no activities. I have to like find ways to do the free things that they're offered by other people. So we're in that position where I knew very well that if I want to go to college, the only way for me to make it happen is I had to find scholarship. I had to do stuff in school. Like I had to do something for me to pass more than high school. I mean, back then I didn't know. I thought I'm going to be an engineer, right? So I didn't know about business or anything. So I was like, all right. And there was no help for me. Like we didn't have any family members here. It was just us four, and I didn't have anybody else to talk to about college. So it was like a big dream that I always wanted to go, but I understood that this is my only way. Like like I think my parents always tell me that too. I think that made him back. Like parents like, listen, if you want to go to college and if you want to be successful, you got to find out some way to make it happen. And they always told me, I'm sorry, I can't help you, because my parents didn't know anything about it. So I think that desperate situation where I'm like, all right, I got to do something. Like if not, like, I'm stuck. Like, I mean, like my parents did a lot to bring me to this beautiful country, and like I can't be a type that's just doing drugs in the streets. Like I got to make an impact. So I think that desperate situation in me and we weren't like living in a good place either. So it was like I see a lot of crimes around me, and like I think I see cops every night, like trying in my neighborhood. So it's just like I knew that I need to do something, right? And I think being in India definitely helps a lot, because different country with nothing there. The only way to succeed in India is if you are top in the top in your class. That's it. That's the only way you could be somewhere, right? And there was no sports scholarships or like all the things that we have in this country. So I was like, I think growing up in there and coming here, that definitely helped a lot, because I could see
Mhm.
my sister, for example, she grew up here mostly. I know she and I don't think the same, because she grew up here seeing everything, where I grew up in a
Mhm.
place where we're struggling to buy clothes, right? So I think that definitely made a huge impact. I think every immigrant can relate to my
Mhm.
story about living in a different place and coming here. I
Yeah.
think the desperate situation was the deal breaker for me.
Mhm. And you took it with the right mindset, because I see how someone in that situation could take it a couple different ways. Obviously, I was born in America. I don't have the same
Yeah.
experiences you had, but you could very easily say, we came to this country with nothing. We live in a bad area. I don't have these opportunities. I don't speak the language. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, there's nothing here for me. I'm not going to make it. And you could completely
Mm-hmm.
give up. And I
Mm-hmm.
see how someone could easily make that decision, but you kind of went the
Yep.
complete opposite direction. Like,
Yep.
I don't have the opportunities everyone else has. I don't speak the language. That means I need to work
Mm-hmm.
10 times harder,
Mm-hmm.
which now, being only 20 years old, you're in a pretty good position just from what I know you've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good. And I would agree, it is an advantage, because you
Mm-hmm.
had to do that
Huge.
to get there.
Yep.
Um, let's talk a little bit about the chess business, because I know it's really exploding now. And like,
Yep.
how did it go from just a hobby to, you were competing, you were doing competitive chess and ranking really high and winning championships? How did it go to a business and something that you can really scale? Because you're doing, like,
Yep.
literally impacting thousands of kids' lives with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just said it. I think the reason, so the way I found I could teach something is, I mean, I always go to tournaments, right? And I see it, like, I see, I mean, I feel the way they think about chess, right? Like, there's a feeling that you get, like, oh, you're playing a tournament, you're winning a game, you're losing a game. Like, I mean, the thing was, when I was playing chess, like, even when I came to this country, like, my parents were working all the time. So for me to go to tournaments, I had to take bus. I had to walk,
Mhm.
like, during the cold weather. I remember walking like hours. It's good, like, I mean, if I had a car, it'd be like 10-minute drive, right? So like, I was just doing everything myself, right? I didn't have the need. I didn't have no other option. But I love the game, so this is my only way to do it. I took the bus, I walk, whatever it takes, right? So I think the way I found is, like, I have a few kids. Uh, Back then, we were like one to two kids that go to tournaments. I bring to tournaments. But what I really notice is, when they go to tournaments and when they lose, it's different than if you lose and you're there by yourself. It's kind of like a lot to take, especially if it was a game that you're supposed to win and you kind of lose. It happens all the time. But when you're, like, with other people, like when you have another friend in your age playing the game of chess with you, but you lost the game, but you just go and hang out with your friends after the game. I think having that group, it's
Mhm.
huge, because I think that's why every single player that I taught, they in chess, we have this ranking system called rating. That's how we determine their skill. They have like pretty much 10x their rating. Every kid that I
Mhm.
worked with, like, not every single kid that I worked with that went down with me. So, and part of it is, like, I put them in a group. They go together. They make friends. Like, they make lifelong friends that they talk to each other every day. Like, that they go on play day and play chess.
Mhm.
They when the parents hang out for like a drinks, they go and play chess. So, like, I was able to build something where these kids, they're making, not only learning the game, but they're, like, becoming friends, and the parents becoming friends with each other, and they talk about chess all the time and how they could, making chess friends. I didn't have that. I was just playing myself. So I think that was the reason that I noticed that earlier on. Like, it can scale a lot if you have a team,
Mhm.
and that does a lot of fun things together, and it's huge. Like, this is like, for me, before I stopped playing chess, I had bad grades everywhere, left and right. I was trying too. It's not like I wasn't trying. I was trying my best to get good grades, but I was getting C's and D's. But since I stopped playing chess, it automatically went up to A. And I think the reason why is, like, I learned how to think a little different. I think chess players don't think the same way
Mhm.
as everybody else, because they know the strategies. They know how to think ahead of moves ahead. They know the value of each piece, so they can compare them in life. Like, what's the value of this versus that, right? So we teach those skills to them. I think all these things that I learned that I could do with people and also make money to survive for my survival mode. I think that was it. That was like when I realized, all right, I could take this to the next level. Like nobody ever done that before. Nobody ever talked about chess being one of those things. But like I surprise people all the time. Like we're a big business now. Like in Connecticut, almost every chess player knows us. So and that's because of what we did. So that's and like I'm always trying to find things. I mean, I'm also I like I love a lot of other stuff too. But one thing I really like about chess is nobody ever done it before, right? It's like I'm the first one to go out and try to make this a nationwide team. Nobody ever, you never hear people talking about chess team, right? So I'm in that process of making that happen because nobody ever done it before. So I'll be the first one to do it, and I like that. I like being somebody who created something new, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are the reasons why I like doing this.
Yeah, and you created a community and like an experience to go with
Yep.
it, not
Yep.
just chess lessons. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. Is that what makes it the most successful, or is it really the business operation side of it, or just the experience the customers are getting?
It's experience. It's experience, 100%. I mean, there are other people like coach here and there, but the reason why we really stands out among, like, I don't think we ever had a parent that said bad things about us. Maybe I'm sure there is, but like I can't think of my head. It's all positives everywhere, and that's because there's a couple things that we do that other people don't do. One, we're extremely focused on building a relationship with the kid over what we teach. Like we obviously we do have curriculum and like on what we teach them, but we're more our first priority. Like when we hire a chess coach, we don't care how good they are. That's not our priority. We think like, how good can you be with the kids? Like, are you a person that could build a relationship with the kid and the parent? Because that's what we look for. We don't look for. Well, we actually reject a lot of top chess players because like a lot of top chess players, they tend to be like very shy, not able to communicate well. So we try to stay away. We try to like we have young coaches that barely know how to play chess, but like they could build a good relationship with the parent, and that really stands out because like everybody, all the 2,000 kids in the program, they know me. Every kids knows me, the parents knows me really well. It got to a point where like I go to dinner with them every week. Every week I'm going to dinner with some different parents. I think building a very good relationship and being the mentors, right? Like I give advice to the kids in front of parents, like this is what they should do instead of this, right? So making it really fun. I mean, chess lessons, like we don't just, if it's 1 hour chess lesson, we don't just teach for 1 hour. We break it down. First 5-10 minutes, it's mandatory icebreakers. Like that's where you build a relationship with the kids. The next 10 to 20 minutes is when you teach. So we only teach for 20 minutes out of the whole hour. And the reason why is so we did teach 20 minutes, and the next 20 minutes, we help them apply what they learn in their game. So they actually play a game. So teaching time for us is only 20 minutes. And then we help them apply in the game immediately. We believe in doing that. Teach something and apply. Teach something and apply instead of teaching a bunch of things and like they forget half of those. And you gotta remember these are kids. They're not gonna remember everything you say. So like you gotta show them how it works. So that definitely 100% like we stands out by that. Like we are the only people that do that. I don't think any other chess club does that. So that we are huge on building a relationship with the kids.
Yeah, and you're rapidly seeing results and improvement in their skill set.
100%. Yeah, we're seeing it because they love us. Most of our kids, we are like their favorite coaches out of all the programs they do, because they love being with us. I mean, they love it, and what do we all love? Chess, right? So I think that definitely, like I know kids that tell their parents like, hey, I gotta play chess because Coach Jithu told me to. Like our parents tell me all the time, like their kids are playing nonstop chess because I told them to do it. Because we build a relationship where they feel like they gotta listen to me. I have parents call me saying that, hey, Jithu, my kid is not behaving well. He's getting into like bad behavior. Can you please talk to him? And I talk to them all the time. I talk to them, listen, hey, Sebastian, you can't do this. You gotta, you got to see what you're good at, and they listen to me. They seem to be listening to me more than their parents, because I'm also a coach now living with them. So I think that definitely made a huge impact for us. And yeah, we're seeing it every day. Like when parents love, if parents see their kids are really happy, what are they going to do? They're going to go tell other parents about it. Like most of our business is like referrals now. I don't go out. Back then it was like me going out and bringing people, but now it's just like I get like 5 to 6 people contacting me every day. I can't keep up with those people. So yeah, I think like that's huge. I think that's huge for us.
So how did you fall in love with chess?
Chess, for me, when I was in India, I think chess it was a game that helped me forget stuff or what I was going through. Like when we had rough times, like extremely hard times in India, things were pretty bad. But when I played the game of chess, it kind of helped me forget what's going on and just focus on something that I love. And I still play chess, and I tend to play chess tournaments when I'm going through a lot, because when you go to chess tournaments, it requires you to turn your phone off, and you're not on your phone for like hours, right? You're just all you're thinking about is chess and chess. Like there's no people around you. You just see a chessboard and the person next to you, right? It's like it just takes everything out of you. Like no distraction. You're not
Clears
talking
your
to
mind.
people. Yeah, it's just like kind of like meditation. For me, chess is a meditation, and I love it. I mean, back then it was like a pain reliever, like trying to feel good for once, and I loved that. It got me so much recognition, like especially getting a lot of hate being in India and raised by just one mom in a house. There was a lot of hate in that neighborhood, but then I started becoming a person like everybody knows me now, like because I'm chess. Oh, you're the chess guy. You're like on the newspaper. You're like you're winning so many stuff. Like it's given me so much value to me that I know I won't be the same person as I'm right now if chess wasn't in my life. It's opened so many doors, and I want the kids that I teach to have the same impact on them. So yeah, that's how I fell in love with chess.
Did you have a mentor that taught you what you know in chess, or how did you develop that skill? Just
Yeah, I mean, no, actually, it's funny because I used to be a kid that so bad, getting into fights every day, like not focusing on school, very bad. Like I see my mom coming to pick me. I remember when I was in 3rd grade, my mom will come to my school. My principal will call my mom saying that, hey, you got to get your kid out of here because he's just too violent for us. So like, and I see my mom crying. I'm like, what do I do with this kid? He's just causing trouble every 2 days. And so I was very violent, and I actually thought chess, because I also like to call myself a popular kid back then. So I didn't want chess was considered like a nerdy game, like people still do. So I refused to go to the chess club that my mom wanted me to go. For a long time, I said no, 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 no. But then she finally forced me to go to this class. And the chess coach there, like he definitely had a huge impact on my life. He taught me everything about it, chess. He taught me until a point where I started beating him. So, but he definitely had a huge impact. I love the game with them, like his passion. And yeah, so that was my first mentor about chess. But then I have the owner of Dig USA. He taught me everything about the business side of what I need to know, like a lot about business. So yeah, these two people, I think, and also parents. My mom, 100%. Like, even though my mom was the one that pushed me to go to that police thing that I didn't want to do. So my mom, like all these people, definitely had a huge impact. I mean, yeah, I don't think you can ever do anything without having a mentor. You gotta have somebody that's showing you what's right, and I think somebody's trying to push you for sure.
And then now that you teach chess, do you think it's making you a better chess player?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's making me a better chess player, but I understand chess better. Before it was all about, all right, you make moves, you learn about strategies, but now I'm just comparing chess so much to life that it's literally a life to me. Like, like I understand that you need to be patient. Like anytime I can't find a solution to a problem I'm dealing with, I just compare that to chessboard. I'm like, okay, if I'm in a position where it's a lot of uncertainty, you don't know what's going to go up. Like you don't know what's going to happen. Like I don't know what to do. What's my next move? So I'm like, okay, what do I do if that was a chess game? Like if I'm in a position where like I really don't know what to do. One of the solutions is like you just wait. You wait. You just wait. You make a random move, like we call waiting move. You just make a move that doesn't make sense. You're just waiting, right? And I do that in life. I'm like, all right, yes. If I don't know what to do exactly, just wait. Something will come up, and something will always come up. If your opponent will make a mistake or a new opportunity will come. So like waiting, so stuff like that. I think I understand chess better. Like I'm always using it as a tool to find a solution to all my problems, which is phenomenal. I think it's huge.
Yeah, and I think that's with most skills is teaching it is the best way to become an expert and understanding it is to teach it to others repeatedly, and then you really understand it at that point. And when you were talking about that and just relating it to life and your business and just things that are going on in general, you think it helps you with like thinking ahead? I think of Patrick Bet-David's book, Your Next 5 Moves, and on the cover he's got the pieces like life is like the game of chess. You need to think a couple moves ahead. Do you think that kind of mindset translates to your other businesses, which we can talk about here in a second, because I know you've got some other things going on?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Like, like the way I think about it is like, when you attack in chess, you just don't want to attack with one piece. You got to be prepared, right? You got to be like you got to have other things. Like if something happened to your knight, you got to make sure you have some other piece to keep the attack going. That's what I do with chess. Is, as much as I love chess, I don't want it to be my only thing, because God forbid something happened to me, then I'm like, and I'm not winning this attack anymore. I think like everybody's is in a fight with the life. They're fighting every day. Trying to make something happen. So yeah, so I do other stuff that kind of keep me going. Like I'm a real estate agent. I help a lot of people buy houses, sell, rent it, whatever it is. I'm also a life insurance agent, which is another passion of mine, because a lot of people don't think about what's going to happen if one of their significant other just disappeared. Like how is the family going to survive? And I invest. I'm also an investor. I invest in properties. I do Airbnb. So for me, like I always think like chance of me going jobless is pretty low, because if my chess business is shut down for whatever reason, I could go and do real estate agent full time, or being an investor full time. If those shut down, like, and my life insurance, right? And if all those shut down, I learned so many skills with these businesses that
figure something out.
I just go and do another one. So I think like putting yourself in a multiple fields, I think it gives you more leverage on skills and, kind of selling yourself more. Like, it's not like you're not talking to a client saying that, hey, I only offer chess. What if they don't have a kid? They want to learn chess. But they might be married. They might need a life insurance to plan ahead for their life, or they're looking to buy their first property, which I'll do as a real estate agent. So I think I have more to offer. It's like, but I told one of my friends the other day that I feel like nowadays when I get on a phone call, there was like a very slim chance I get a no. I might call them for chess, but then say, oh, I'm not interested in chess. But like, I'll be like, hey, did you know that I'm also a real estate agent? Would it help for you if I give you an analysis on your property? And if they say no, then I'm like, did you also know I'm a life insurance agent? So I think that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one business that already has the proven track record and scalability kind of just helps you scale those relationships. So one of the things we talk about all the time within our business is the first foundation of wealth creation is increasing your income. And the easiest way to increase your income is to know more people and solve their problems.
For sure.
So really just having those relationships, and that's not why you do it, but like with the chess business, you have all these families, all these parents. At some point, they're all going to move and either sell a house or need an apartment or buy a house. At some point, it'll make sense for all of them to have life insurance in place if they don't. So so you're setting yourself up in a pretty good spot to really help anybody with what's going on, because that's similar to what we do. So like our main business is an accounting firm. Everybody in this country's got to file a tax return. We can at least help them with that. We also have a life insurance branch. Everybody's gonna die, you know. Like the two things in life you can't avoid are taxes and death. So that's kind of the industries we're in. We're in the real estate industry. We buy apartments. You know, people are always going to need somewhere to live. And our clients, if we're helping them save money on tax, they kind of want to put it somewhere. If the right opportunity comes up, they can put it in a real estate deal, you know, as a partner with us. So it's good to not do too many things and spread yourself thin, but it's also good to have, you know, a lot of different ways you can help people. Yeah, because they might, you could meet someone and they don't have any kids. They're not interested in chess. But they're looking to move. You know, you can help them out there. Or you know, they have the realization they need life insurance. You can help them out there. Like whatever. So I like that. That's pretty cool. And was that your intent when you got into these things? Like I need some other things to help these people, or did it kind of just naturally happen?
I think kind of naturally happened. One way or the other. I don't think I was never intended to do other stuff along with my chess business. But once this chess got to a point where it's going really good, and I started getting other coaches, I find myself having a little more time than usual. So I was trying to spread myself around. I mean, these are things I loved, right? I mean, I love real estate. I love buying property. I love, and the thing about getting life insurance is because I'm helping a lot of kids, but I never really helped out like adults as much as I help out the kids. So that was my way of like helping adults. I'm all about helping people. Like, what I could do, you know, like I'll do for free if I could, you know, help somebody out in some way or other. So that's because I felt like I was missing out when I was just doing kids. I'm like, I gotta do something for the adults, right? And I mean, it took me a couple of years. I mean, I was fully focused on just chess, 100%, like going all in with it, to a point where I could step out a little bit now and do other stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's important to have one main thing and have a lot of energy going on that. Like for me, it's just chess is still my main thing. Like if a real estate client call me and a chess client call me, I'll be picking up the chess first. So I mean, it's still my main thing, and I do other things on the side. Yeah, I think it's still important. Like my goal with chess hasn't like I haven't achieved everything I wanted to. I mean, we're pretty big in Connecticut. I mean, we're kind of getting into New York a little bit, but I want to like spread it out to other places. Hopefully, I can make it nationwide one day. So that's still my focus. I'm still trying to build that while I'm meeting people in real estate. I mean, I think it's also helping me because I'm meeting people in real estate that might want chess. I'm meeting people in life insurance that might want chess. So like I'm like increasing my demographics to all kind of people. And that's definitely helping for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of your big goals? What are you most excited about for this year?
Yeah, so the most excited is like I really so right now we have 70 kids in our Dig Elite chess team. We did that in 1 year. I want to get it to like 400 kids by end of this year, which I think is pretty doable. And I mean, the way we go is we'll definitely hit 400 easily, and have multiple branches. Like we have 2 branches now. You know, just our chess team. Now the Dig US, we have a lot of other branches for Dig, but our chess team has 2 branches. I want to expand that to a lot more. Like we're working out a couple of locations. But yeah, I have pretty big goals in real estate. I want to add another 20 units to my portfolio this year. So I'm working on getting those, and do some big sales as an agent too. I want to have 45 transactions by end of this year. So just working on those. But yeah, chess is the main thing. If there's one thing that I'm gonna go all in, it'd be the chess. You know, and I don't know who said this, but for somebody, I think it was Keller Williams. He said this: you should focus on your first priority, and everything else is a distraction until you get to the first one. So my full focus is still on chess until I get to a point where it's good and it could get to my goal. Then I'll start focusing on this stuff.
I got you. Yeah. Well, you've got a lot going on. It's going well. I'm just curious, like, what are some of your fears with starting businesses and ventures like this, or if any?
Yeah, no, I definitely have fears just like everybody else. I know start questioning myself a lot. When I started, I'm like, is this gonna work? And I think this is a huge that I used to get advice from the wrong people almost 100% of the time. Like I will talk to people who'd never done business about business advice, right? I think that I learned definitely from Grant that that's a huge mistake. Like I used to get advice from my parents about stuff, but I don't do that anymore. I mean it's not it's not bad, but like
Mm,
the whole college, whole the business, like I didn't ask my parents what I should do. I just asked other people who did it and just go with it.
mm,
And I think before I used to be a person who thinks a lot before making a decision, but right now I'm the type of person that'll jump into it if I really want to do it. I jump into it, I'll
mm,
make stuff happen. I think that's huge because like I feel like once you're presented an opportunity, but you don't take it right away, what's gonna happen is you're gonna go home and overthink about it, and your mind will tell you not to do it because you have all this stuff going on and not take the opportunity, and kind of walk away from it. So like for me, like if I like something, I'll do it within the first 24 hours. I'll make the decision. I'm doing it or not. There's no like, oh, I'll get back to you, or give me a few months. I don't do any of those. I just do it or not do it.
mm.
So I think fear wise. So yeah, I do have a lot of fears about doubting myself. Like I come from India, I can't do this. I'm like like I can. Back then I didn't even speak the language, so I definitely had a lot of fear in myself. But I think I'm sure Tim. Like starting a very successful, starting a business and running a pretty successful, it requires a lot of trust in yourself, right? People will tell you
Mm.
not to do it. I think every successful business person has a story about how people said they shouldn't do it, right? So you need to have a huge trust and also a mindset of like whatever it takes. If that requires me to like stay home every weekend and do work, or if that requires me to like cut all my friends. I lost a lot of friends in the last 2 years. Like I lost 95% of my friends because I'm not communicating with them regularly. But I
Mhm.
think it also helped me because I mean, like now I just go to classes and that's it. I don't hang out with people because those like I'm sure you too. We think so differently than a typical college student.
It's
Like
hard to
I
relate. It's hard to
very
relate,
hard.
I'm sure, to other
Very
20-year-olds, and yeah, I'm 22 myself.
yeah.
I'm right there with
It's
you.
like yeah. It's just different. Like when you talk to them, like I don't know. It just sounds like they have a long way to go with the thinking. So like I think it's important. Like whatever you do, you just got to surround people with people who done that so much better than you. Like already done it. I think that's the best way to like stop self doubting. And don't tell people like if you're starting a business, and don't tell like your employees, like people who are like work 9 to 5, that you're starting a business. They're obviously gonna say no because they never tried it before, and they're comfortable with what they're doing. So you never know what's out there unless you explore it. So I
Yeah,
think that's huge.
I really love something you said. You have to be a quick decision maker if you want to
Yep.
be successful, and a lot of that ability to make quick decisions just comes from the belief in yourself and the belief in
Exactly.
your ability to make it work and make income in the business and keep it afloat and be successful. Because if you even if the decision is no, like if you're making a
Mhm.
decision, the decision is no, you have to have belief that everything else is going to go right, and it doesn't matter if you just missed out on the
Mhm.
biggest opportunity of a lifetime because of the direction you're going in. So I
Exactly.
think that's
Exactly.
super huge. Is just
Yep.
make decisions, as cut time out of the equation, and that's a sales thing. Like you want to tell people
Yeah.
is like, let's just cut time out of the equation, make the decision.
Make
If
a
you say
decision.
no, it's okay. No is my second favorite answer.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
waiting's not going to help anybody, and
Yeah.
especially if you're doing something that is going to help people, uh,
Yep. For sure.
just cut time out of it. So I like that.
Another thing I notice is like I feel like I notice this every day. Like people always tell like, "Oh, I wish I did this. I wish I made a better decision." Like, I mean, everybody's like, "I wish I did something better in the past." And I'm like here thinking, "So what? There's nothing you could do to change it." right? I mean, you're wasting so much time talking about what something happened in the past and how it could have been done better. Like,
Mhm.
you learn from it and move on. Like, do the next thing. Like, you lost $50,000, you lost it. I mean, like, what are you gonna do now? You're just gonna go back and get it? Like, it's gone, right? And
Yeah.
just move on. I think that's thing. I've been trying. I tell my kids all the time, like, if you make a bad move, just forget about it. Come on, just keep moving. Like, why are we
Mhm.
just keep worrying about something that happened in the past? And
It
I
it
noticed
makes
a
things
lot of
easier.
those. Yeah,
It makes
yeah,
things easier when you think that way.
yeah, just
Um,
keep moving on.
yeah, and being willing to move like that
Yeah,
does often put you into better situations. And I think even just with investments, like I've
yep,
lost money before, and
yep, for
that
sure.
that money's never coming back. It's gone whenever, most of it from cryptocurrency. So
Yep.
that experience of losing money and just not having to worry about it because I know I can go
Mm-hmm.
make more doesn't
Yep.
keep me from making other investments.
Exactly.
Like, and,
Yeah.
and also it makes it easier to make investments, especially investments in myself, because I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I know I can at least get some value out of this, and I've
Mm-hmm.
lost I've lost this amount of money before, so it's okay.
Right.
that's
Right.
that's
Right.
the way I
Right.
look at a lot of things.
I think everything will teach you something. I think people need to just focus on, okay, you lost money, but what did that teach you? Did you learn anything? Of course you did. You just gotta find what you learned, and just move on, because that lesson might be worth that much money. Like, I mean, I learned lessons where it's worth a lot of money if I didn't know about it, right? So you just pay for the lesson. That's
Mhm.
the way I think about it. Everybody needs to pay for something.
Yeah, that's one thing people talk about a lot. I
Yeah.
hear it the most in real estate, just because I listen to a lot of real estate things, is when
Mm-hmm.
you lose money on a deal, or maybe you put money down on a deal and as earnest money and you lost it, you had to back out of it and completely lost that money. It's just tuition.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Right.
paying for your
Right.
education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So kind of wrapping it up here, is there any last advice you wanted to cover or talk about, just for someone, let's just say someone kind of our age, 18 to 24, want to be entrepreneurial but not really sure how to start, or if they should start, or what they should do? Because I feel like the perspective you have would be really helpful to someone, even someone younger than that, but just that kind of person, the around
Yep.
our age but not
Yep.
quite doing what you're doing.
Yep. No, for sure. I think so one more thing I want to add. I live uh, in Stamford, Connecticut, which is like so close to New York City. Before I was the college I go to is UConn. I was going to the main campus, which was so far away. It's like in the middle of nowhere. And when I was there, like, I was thinking so much differently. Like, I was thinking like a typical college kid. Every changes that happened to me, it's like in the last 12 months, and like the biggest, like last 12 months have been our biggest year for everything for me, like real estate, chess, like life skills, everything, right? I think a huge thing is for you to be successful, or like what do you want to do, you got to start surrounding yourself with the people that think the same way. When I was at UConn stores, at my main campus, I was not thinking about scaling or real estate. I was thinking about like, how should I go to party tonight, or which club should I go to? I have four options. Which one should I go to? Right? Or should I like spend all my night just talking about girls at my friend's dorm? Or like, what should I do? Those were my options, right? And I hated it. I always knew in my mind like I'm supposed to do big. So if you're like, especially if you're trying to like be an entrepreneur, I think it's very hard if you're just in college and you're like surrounded with a bunch of people that just want to get by and go to party. I think you got to surround yourself with other people, more successful people. Like, I made a major decision to move down, go to a small branch school. So like I was leaving all my friends, everybody I know in my life, to go to a city where I don't know anybody, right? And like I gotta like kind of start over with friends and everything. And I did that for my chess business, and it's been the best decision I made. I think it's important you surround yourself with people that think the same way and willing to take the action. I know a lot of people that think the same way as I do, but they're not willing to take action. They get backed by it, and also like stop thinking and just start doing something, like stop thinking and take action. Like you could think all night, all day, like about how I should build a business. I should write everything down. Like here's the thing. I run chess tournaments. This might sound bad, but like, like I know people who just like when I run chess tournaments, we do a lot. We do one this Sunday. Somebody else that's running chess tournament, they were like, oh, I need 2 months ahead of time to plan everything. Like I gotta tell people, I tell my people 1 week before the tournament, like, hey, we're doing a tournament. Like I make that quick decision, I make it happen. All my tournaments, we made so much money. Like we never lost money. We never lost money from any chess event or big event because, like even if it's a week before, like you go and contact so many people, like you can make stuff happen. Like I think people spend so much time preparing for something, and then so what happens is when you prepare a lot, you feel like, oh, I did all my work, I should be good, I don't need to worry about anything. But things happens all the time, like you go to an event, like your computer is not working, Wi-Fi is not working. Those are things that you just can't control it, right? So I think the biggest thing is having a mindset saying that I'm gonna solve any problem that come to my event. Like I'm gonna solve everything, and like that's what we do. Like we just make stuff happen. We talk less and we make stuff happen. A lot of people they like talk, and nothing will ever happen. I think like those are two things. One, surround yourself with the right people, and two, like talk less and actually do something. That's what I was saying.
So in order to surround yourself with more people that have the right mindset and are forward thinking in the direction you want to go, what's some action someone could take to start surrounding themselves with people like that?
Yeah. So first of all, like you got to find what you like. If it could be baseball, or you want to be a pro baseball player, well, yeah, go and hang out with people, like big coaches and the big teams. I mean, you probably not gonna be good. And I mean, sometimes it requires you to spend money, and that's the huge thing. People don't want to spend money to do something. Like it might cost you a lot of money, but like that's something that's literally a ticket for you to surround yourself with some other people and guarantee success. That's the way I think about it. Like it's literally guarantee success.
You can buy any network you want.
Exactly. You could buy into any of them. Go to networking events. Many of them are free. I think they should charge for all of them. Like people gotta know. Like I think when you spend your money, you care about it a lot. Like you're like, oh shit, I spend my money. I gotta get something out of this. If not, I lose my money. I think I like that. You should like.
I agree.
We gotta stop giving these free stuff. Actually, make people pay. Get that money out there because they will feel the need on doing that. Because I work with some towns where there's a lot of support, which is great. But I know some towns where like they give a lot more support than they needed, right? Like they give everything for free, which is I don't think is a good idea because the kids do those programs don't appreciate it because they're not paying for it, and two, parents not gonna push it either because they're not paying for it, right? I think so. Yeah, I think one of your finding what you like. It could be something even small, like you like music. Take it to the next level. Go to a bunch of concert. Like meet people that. And if you like real estate, you should definitely be hanging out, going to networking events, hanging out with the real estate agents. That's what I do. I call so many. When that's on real estate, I was just calling so many agents, learning new things from each agent, right? So like, or if you like, I think you just gotta find things to do. Like, you don't just do the way I think about it is, all right, I just try to do things that's not normal, right? Like, for example, if you're like, I had an internship my first year at Xfinity, which is not normal for college kids. A college kid first year, they tell you like just focus on your studies, and you'll be good. But I went out my way to find an internship because I know that's not something other people do. Because I feel like when you do something that other people don't do, you have less competition and you have more chance of excelling at it. So I really try to do stuff that other people not willing to do, and really go all after that. I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's good. Just going above average, because average sucks. I've been saying that. When you think of most things and use the word average to describe it, you're not thinking of positive things. Like average income, average car, average house. Like not that those things are super important, but you're not thinking good things when I say the average income in the United States. So you got to be above average and you got to hold yourself to a higher standard. But I kind of wanted to touch off of what you said. Networking events 9 times out of 10 are free. And there's so many events for whatever you could possibly be interested in. It'll blow your mind. Like you could probably get 1,000 people together for, I don't even know, like the dumbest thing. I can't even think of something.
For sure. No, for sure.
There's definitely a way to just get out there. It's not going to cost you anything but your time to go meet people and be surrounded by people who are maybe just a little bit ahead of you and where you want to go. You can learn how to get there and be introduced to the people they know. So that's huge. I tell people, like, you just need to meet more people if you have big goals. And the easiest way to reach your goals is to help a lot of other people reach their goal.
Exactly.
And then it just naturally happens for you.
For sure.
So we covered some good stuff. Got some good wisdom for a couple of 20-year-olds over here. Is there anything you want to finish with, or where could people, find out more about you and get connected with you?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would love to connect with everybody that I can. That's my biggest passion. You could I have Instagram. My Instagram is Jithu_chess estate. So Jithu JITHU_chess and estate, combined real estate and chess. That's the best way to contact me. I'm happy to answer any more thoughts. And I think the last thing I'll say is time is your biggest money. I think you gotta, like, if you're not keeping track of your time, like if you're doing budget for your money, but you're not keeping track of how many hours you're spending on some stuff, then you're losing money every day. I think I mean, for me, like I don't really track my money. Other people do for me, but for me, my biggest concern is I track my time every day. I'm like writing down, all right, where did I spend my time, right? And cut down on like it's like if you have a bad subscription. Like if I spend so much time on social media, that's a bad subscription. I gotta cut it down, right? I'm wasting my my time on it. So I think treating time as your money is huge, and actually keeping track of where's your time going over where your money is going. I think that'll make an impact.
Yeah, well, that's great advice. I appreciate you taking the time to come speak to everyone that is willing to listen. Connect with Jithu on Instagram. Send him a message. Start a conversation. He's a great guy. Got a lot of stuff going on. And thank you for listening. We'll end it here.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thanks for tuning into the Student of the Game podcast. If you listened all the way to the end, I would love your feedback. The best way to connect with me is to reach out through Instagram. Leaving a thumbs up or a review on whichever platform you're tuning in from will really help this podcast reach more people. So if you found it valuable at all I can ask is that you would do that for me. Thanks. Until next time.